Hi, friends. Kelly Sakmar is a Catholic wife, mama, and organizational angel. She joins me today from her peaceful and organized home to discuss how our home and hearts are intertwined. So go grab a coffee and sit down because we need to talk. Today on Catholic Homework, I am blessed to be chatting with Kelly Sakmar. Kelly is a practicing Catholic and recovering perfectionist. Kelly has been married to her dear husband, Ryan, for 17 years and counting. Together, they've been blessed with four children, two beautiful girls, one little saint in heaven, and one sweet boy here on earth. When she's not caring for her own family, you can find her helping other busy families create homes with less clutter and more peace. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to Catholic Homework.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So before we get too deep in the conversation, could you please share a little about your background, how
Yeah,
you got started with clutterLESS, and what a day in your life might look like?
sure. So thank you for the introduction. I think that covers a good bit about my home life. Um, I actually started clutterless almost 8 years ago now, and it came out of just knowing that I really enjoyed organizing for our family here. And I wasn't sure if I would enjoy doing it for other people or if it was just kind of a hobby I enjoyed with my family. But I put it out there. I was in a mom's group at the time and I offered if anyone had any organizing projects in their home, if I could like come volunteer, do it for free and see if I enjoyed doing this for others. And I was thinking maybe one or two people would be interested in me doing that. And the whole mom's group wrote back on the thread. So I realized that there was a market for that. And then I also ended up just kind of whittling, I couldn't do all 40 moms. So I whittled it down to three different projects and I just loved it. So I was able to confirm what I had known that I had a gifting for here with my own family. And it's been a real blessing to help other families ever since.
That's amazing. Where are you located?
So I am outside of Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. We just had
Okay.
a big win here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Congratulations on that world.
Thanks.
But I
I
was gonna
mean,
I was gonna
no,
say if you're closer to me, you should definitely stop by because organizing is
I
not my
know.
forte. So
Well,
not
it
one
looks
of my
great.
gifts and strengths. Yeah. So I'm sure there are many moms that do feel that way, that having a little help would
Oh my
be.
gosh, yes. Yeah, and often it comes up during transition periods, right?
Mm.
So, um, like when you become a mom, and we all know all the stuff that comes with a new baby and all the registry things that everyone tells you you need, and then once you've
Mhm.
had a couple, you realize like I need diapers, a swaddle, and like somewhere to put this kid to sleep. So
Mhm.
whether it's a crib or a bassinet or whatever it might be, you just realize there's so much our society makes something for everything. So
Mhm.
there's a product that can help with any little problem, which is great. That can be wonderful, but it can also become very overwhelming when you
Oh,
don't
that's so
really
true.
truly know what you need. Um, and you're now just kind of drowning in stuff.
Yes, and even as the kids grow, they're transitioning every age,
Yeah.
every milestone, is another
Yeah,
transition where they need different
exactly.
things, different clothes,
Exactly.
more clothes.
Yeah,
And then are you having another baby? Should you hold on to
sure.
these clothes and all that,
Yeah,
the bottles,
yeah.
the bottle warmer and all of the
Oh
things.
my gosh, yes.
So it becomes this millions of decisions is how it feels for
Yes.
me. Yeah, it
Yeah.
can be very overwhelming.
And then it ends up in decision fatigue, and
Mhm.
then that's really what clutter is. A definition of clutter is a delayed decision. So you
Mhm.
don't know, it's sitting out because you either don't know where to put it, you don't know if you need it, you don't know if you want it, and you don't know what to do with it. So then it ends up sitting out on the kitchen counter and making everybody feel bad.
Yes. So you came into this, you realized that this was your gift now, but what were you doing before?
So prior to that, I had spent 10 years in my corporate career, which was always actually in nonprofits or higher education. But I was doing a lot of event planning, sales, fundraising. So a couple of different positions that I had over those 10 years, but they all kind of fell in that genre. And when I look back, I think of like how organized I had to be to throw a reunion for, say, 500 people over 3 days. It's just amazing how God works
Yeah.
and
So it was
how,
there
like, He
all
has been,
along.
yes, He's been setting me up for this every step of the way. And like I said, I worked for 10 years, going to a traditional 9 to 5 job. Um, but now I've had my own company for almost 8. And within those 10 years, I was probably at, I don't know, maybe 4 different institutions because I would get bored.
Mm,
And this is just so wonderful that being an entrepreneur and working with new clients all the time, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop and to get bored, but I don't. There's always something new in this space.
mm,
And it has evolved too. Like we've done, here we are chatting over Zoom. We all got used to this in the last 5 years or
right.
so. So I've also been able to work very successfully with clients virtually. I have an online course. I've been able
Yes.
to really do lots of different things, which I never would have expected when I originally founded the business.
Okay, so can you explain that to me? What does virtual organizing look like? Because I mean, I know I can like organize the file folders in
Yeah,
my drives, but what are
right.
you saying you can have virtual clients? Like, what does that even mean?
So it's actually more of like a Zoom call like this,
Okay.
and we would go through a consultation. So same as when I go into someone's home in person, you would show me what the pain points are, or what projects you're working on, or what room you particularly want to tackle. We would come up with a plan, and then I would give you some homework, and then after you have had your chance to kind of work through the steps of the process on your own, then we would meet again via Zoom and we would go through any of the things that you're still having questions about. Because so much of what I'm doing is I'm an accountability partner. None of this is rocket science by any means. I do have certifications in it, but I really don't feel that you need any special education to be able to declutter. The sorry, the virtual organizing process. Um, so you get stuck on certain items.
Yes.
And I am a person who can walk you through, like, well, why is this a hard item to let go of?
Oh,
Or
okay.
why
Yes.
might
So
you want to
when
keep
I'm
it?
going through my closet, right? So in my bedroom closet,
Yeah.
you don't want to know, Kelly, if you lived here,
I
come on.
promise you, I've seen worse.
Okay, well, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hang on to these clothes because I dropped one size, in the
Right.
season, or
You and me both.
your weight, right? And then, or I
Yeah.
had a baby, so I'm gonna hang on to these
Yeah.
maternity clothes, but now I'm down a size, and I don't want to get
Right.
rid of these things because they come back
Yeah.
around in style, right? Or they're
Right.
sentimental.
Sure.
So sentimental
There's
items
sentimental clothing. It's
are
a real thing.
yes are huge are challenge for me, memories associated with items or clothing, shoes,
Sure.
really. Even I'm like, no, I wore those
Yeah.
shoes when I backpacked through Europe. I can't get rid
Oh
of
my gosh. That's
smelly as
awesome.
they are, right? But but no, but really, so then I could call you and you would say,
Mhm.
and you would talk me through that. You'd walk me through
Yes. So I
how.
would give you a process to follow. I would go through a consultation with you. The main question in the beginning is, what are your goals? Do you, maybe you're fine to keep all of your clothing because it's not, overflowing through your closet. It's not causing you decision fatigue on a daily basis. Maybe it's not a problem. But if it is causing decision fatigue, if you can't find what you're looking for when you do go in your closet, if it's like busting out the seams and you have no storage really, then maybe those are reasons for why you would call someone like me, or you would start an organizing project to work on goals like that because you do want more space.
Mhm. Or
So
mental
I'm always going
space.
to, yes,
Mental
yeah, I'm
space.
always going to point you back to your goals and kind of workshop with you. Is this piece of clothing getting you towards your greater goals?
Mm,
Um, or maybe does it need to be stored somewhere else. That I think there's a place for sentimental clothing. It's interesting. It's something that's come up with multiple clients, and I don't know, the term sentimental clothing is something that I didn't even realize was a thing until I started recognizing it in people's homes.
Wedding shoes,
Um,
Kelly. Wedding shoes.
yes, yes. I think I finally let mine go recently because I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to wear these again. I got silver ones so I could wear them again, and I did for a little while, but not anymore.
Hmm.
So I think one bin of sentimental clothing, like storage bin, is a good way that you can go through that depending on how much space you have. Like
Okay.
some people, if you're living in a one bedroom apartment, that might be way too much storage for
Okay, so we're
you.
talking
You might
clutterless, not necessarily minimalist. Yes. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I love that. Okay, so and then you also say that a clutterless home helps you to be more peaceful and then more holy potentially. Is that what you're, is there a
So that is
correlation?
my so that's my goal. So as I said, when I started out, it was really just about the stuff. But as I evolved and worked with more people, I realized how much it's really our mental clutter. And the stuff is either stressing us out or caused by stress. They're kind of like this vicious cycle. And we all know that there's no transformation without Jesus.
Mm,
So when I started thinking about how I could invite him into this process with my clients, that really was a game changer. So I work with anyone. I can work completely secularly, or I can, you know, pull in as many possible tenets of the Catholic faith to help guide one along the working in the virtue of detachment.
mm,
Um, so, and I, a lot of, and I, it's something that I've found for myself, of course, you mentioned I have my little son in heaven. He's coming up on his fifth anniversary now, our little Saint TJ.
uh,
Um, in retrospect, almost every single client that I've worked with has had some sort of significant grief that has either triggered or been at least an explanation for why they're holding on to some stuff or why their home is more cluttered than they would like.
mm.
Um, whether it's losing a child through miscarriage or a significant loss of a parent, even if you were maybe a teenager when that happened, it can lead to coping mechanisms like over shopping and um, you're just trying to fill these holes
The
of we've
God-shaped
lost
hole.
people.
Yes, the
Yeah.
God-shaped hole. Yeah.
And sometimes it's a God-shaped hole that we're trying to fill. So that's another reason why I think he inspired me to write my course, which is Your Clutterless Christ-Centered Home.
Okay. And
Um,
that's available on your website?
it is, yes, yeah.
Okay. Which is
But
what?
really oh, clutter-less.com.
All right. Clutterless.com with a dash. Okay.
Clutter-less.com. There's a dash in between the clutter and the less.
Yes, I hopped on your website, of course, and I subscribed to your site there and got this amazing guide. Like you
Yes.
offer this guide that
Yep.
just like breaks it down into like
Totally free.
what you
Yep.
should keep and what you should get rid of, what you should donate, and how to
Yep.
do that, which is
Right.
amazing. I found
Yeah.
that
Thank
highly
you. I'm glad
valuable.
you found that useful.
Yes, I did. I mean, I haven't exactly implemented it yet,
It's
but I
okay.
but it's there.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
you
Hey,
have a place up here now for me,
I
Kelly.
love it. I love it.
Yes. I love how you tie in how it's not just about the stuff. Actually, aren't you? Did you tell me that you're working on a book?
I am.
Yes. And is this what it's about?
And now that we're including it in a podcast, I'm really going to have to
Yeah.
publish it at
Well,
some
it's
point.
real. It's real.
So I wouldn't have any of your listeners hold their breath, but yeah, I am working on a book. I have a working title for it called Stuffing Jesus.
I love that.
And it's how grief and loss lead to clutter until you invite Jesus in.
Okay. Yeah. So you Oh, it just gives me the chills. Just like thinking about that. It's so true. It's so true how we can get so distracted by the clutter, the stuff, and it's not just things, is it? It's we can stuff our lives full of activities,
Oh, for
social
sure.
media,
Yeah.
it, tabs, internet tabs
Oh
that
my
I may
gosh, yes.
cannot share my screen because
I know. I'm pretty good about keeping the tabs okay on my computer, but my husband opens my phone browser and he's like, this makes me want to vomit.
yeah. Yes. So we can fill our lives with so much if we don't stop to realize why we're doing it, right?
Yeah. And
Um,
evaluate what is serving you
mhm,
and what is bringing you closer to your goal of holiness and heaven and what is really deterring from that.
mhm. So through in your book, you mentioned that you are going to explore that topic of heartbreak or grief,
Mhm.
and how you've experienced healing through your faith and also organization um, in your home. Is that how did, if it's okay to ask, how did
Yeah.
that organization lead you toward healing in your faith?
So I think I've experienced it more with other people. I think I was blessed to have a baseline of organization and like just generally a decluttered home when our crisis hit, when we did lose our son. Just as a very brief synopsis, we had a poor prenatal diagnosis, and my son was born at 28 weeks. He
Mm,
lived for 4 days, and then he went home to Jesus. And at the time, our other children, our oldest daughters, my oldest was 6.5, and then my second daughter was 3.5. And then it coincided perfectly with the pandemic hitting. So this was in
oh,
March
such
of
a hard
2020.
time. That was a
Yeah. So it was just
perfect
awful.
storm.
And for anyone who has been in the situation of a loss of a child, whether through miscarriage or infant death or any child loss, I am just so sorry. Um, and the timeline on that grief is as long as it takes. Um, and I'm sitting here about 5 years out now, and there are still highs and lows. Um, but to get back to your question, I would say that it was a blessing that my home was, again, at a baseline of pretty much uncluttered. However, when I was in those throes of grief, nothing is important. You get up, you eat something, you go back to sleep, you cry, like there's nothing. Thank God for my children, because I had to get up, I had to feed them. Um, it's just really basic survival skills at that point. So I can totally see and I experienced how when you're in that kind of a grief fog, things just fall by the wayside. And um,
Mm,
keeping up with the house, let alone decluttering, keeping up with laundry is not even a priority. It's just everything becomes a bigger chore because you're carrying this huge sack of grief filled with rocks that
oh,
you haven't learned how to carry yet.
and
Um,
how do you then walk your clients through that emotional process? If their organization or disorganization is linked to
sure.
grief or trauma.
Sure. Um, I would like to think that I do it with a lot of grace and gentleness, and no judgment. Um, Usually, by the time a client has called me, they've already reached a certain point on their grief journey or spectrum, where they're looking around and they're going, okay, I need help. Like this is too much for me. But they had enough energy to pick up the phone, and they had enough um, presence of mind to realize that this is becoming a problem and they need to help. They need to work on it. Um, so they're kind of further along on the. I can't make someone ready to call me,
Right.
so I kind of have to, I meet them where they are. And usually it's just enough. They have just enough energy to meet with me, and then just enough energy to schedule a time for us to work together. And then I keep it to 3 hour blocks. Honestly, I think anything less than that, you can't really make a significant amount of progress. And anything more than that, you just get so easily exhausted, decision fatigue, that type of thing. So those are just kind of some points about how I then work with people. And a lot of it is honestly, I am an accountability partner, but I I'm almost like a story keeper. When
Hmm.
you can hold something up and say like, "Oh, my daughter gave this to me and she made it for me when she was 5 and I love it so much," then I can then reflect, I can really see how much you enjoy that item. Why is it hiding in this box? Why don't we frame it? Imagine this is artwork. Why don't we frame it, put it up on the wall where you can enjoy it every day? Or sometimes it's just enough to say, like, oh, I remember when I wore these shoes backpacking through Europe, and that was a really great time in my life. And I'm so thankful that I got to do that. But the shoes are kind of falling apart now. I'm not going to wear them again. I think it's time for them to go.
Okay, but
Just having a
I
good,
might wear them again. I might. You don't.
you might, you might. And you need to figure out how much that might real estate
Yes.
is costs, and is that the value of that to you in your home and in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different for everyone. I don't have a one size fits all or one or just a prescription of get rid of everything, because I am mostly working with young families. We do have a lot of stuff. We have kids in different ages and stages. And why would I throw out all my toddler toys when, I now have a toddler who's using them?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the clothes, my goodness, the clothes. That the
Yes.
storage systems alone for just that are, because you don't want to be wasteful. You want to be a good steward
Right. It's
of
such a
your
tricky balance,
resources.
isn't it? That that
Sure.
that like thrift is a good thing to a
Yep.
certain level. So
Yep.
yeah, it does
And we
just
need to
feels wasteful, but also to be able to donate them, right, could go to a much better cause.
and we need to balance it with trusting in the Lord's abundance.
Mm.
So I usually don't advocate for getting rid of higher ticket items, like say a baby swing. If you think there's a chance that you are going to have more babies, um, and you already own the baby swing and you have somewhere you can store it, I'm not going to tell you to just like get rid of it. You can always get another one. Like that's not stewarding the resource, in my opinion. Um, so things like that, I'm going to talk you through. But,
Mm.
6 different pairs of baby socks that maybe have seen better days. Like maybe we can
Yes.
let something like that go and replace it if we need to.
Yes. And with the way the world is now with Facebook Marketplace being so
Mhm.
available
Yeah,
to buy and sell baby items isn't even it's not a big hurdle for us anymore at this point in time.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you share a success story maybe of where you've seen home organization really make a real difference in one of your clients' lives?
Sure. When we considered this question, I think I told you that I could almost all of my clients, or I would hope that it's made a difference for all of my clients. I was thinking about recent clients and just different life transitions and maybe moving or reconfiguring your home. Like I'm in my um, half guest room, half office now that it's a work from home arena for everybody, my husband included. We've transitioned spaces into new functions, right? All across America. Um, so I'm thinking of one client in particular. She just had kind of a dumping zone of her guest room, and we just went at it one day, and she was ready. She was over it. She was ready to move on, get rid of a bunch of stuff. And she was like able to host Thanksgiving and help put someone up there after that. And then the same client, actually, her basement, after we tackled her guest room, she wanted to work on her basement because she wanted to throw her son a surprise graduation party. So before we worked in there, it was just, there were, you would not have been able to host guests there. It wasn't wild. It wasn't like quarter level because that's something different. That is a mental illness. That's a different diagnosis, but it just wasn't serving the purpose that she wanted it to, which was to be more social,
Mm.
um, or more social space. So those were two ones that I really enjoyed. Another one was revamping an office space, of course, to make it work for both the family who is growing and having a new baby, and the mom who was working there. So it's just so much fun. I could sit here and talk all day
I
about
love that
different
you
things.
think it's fun, Kelly, because when I think about organizing even my school cabinet and I homeschool, I'm just I kind of this is what happens. I just freeze up. I'm like, that is overwhelming. I don't have the capacity for that today. I need to host a podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, and
I'm glad.
capacity is a
I'm
real
glad.
thing.
Yeah, you have the gift though, and I'm so glad you're sharing it with all of us. I mean, thank you for not putting a basket over your lamp. Yeah, so that's awesome. So, okay, so you told me, so this is very timely. Us having this conversation as Lent approaches is very timely because um you have something special to share with us, right?
Do. I do. This is the second year that I am doing my Lenten challenge. So it will be a free challenge. We'll have a private group where we can communicate. There's a workbook there, but basically, it is going to jumpstart you if there's any project you have been putting off or a space that you're hoping to tackle in your home and eliminate as much clutter as possible so that you do have more capacity to invite Christ in. Um, so I do have, yes, I have that Lenten challenge coming up. It is on the website at clutter-less.com/Lent. And you can just sign up right there, completely free, and you will get email prompts and all of the live access that you need to me. Uh,
So can we use this for just like could I use it for just my closet if I need
yeah, you
to,
can
or
use
can
it
I
for
use
any
it for
space.
my whole home, or
You can do whatever you would like. That
can I
that
use it for my
option.
internet tabs?
So it's not exactly for the internet tabs. It
Okay.
is for physical residential space.
Okay. Okay. That's okay.
There are other experts who work on um, technology. That is not my gifting.
Okay.
But if you need them, I can point you in their
All right.
direction.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So, what are some simple, actionable steps busy moms can take today to create a more peaceful and organized home, even if we've got very limited time?
Absolutely. So I would say declutter something, just 15 minutes a day. If this is a goal for you, if you feel like, hey, I have bigger fish to fry right now, this is not of a concern to me, then, or you have no capacity because you're going through a season of growth or a season of grief, then maybe this is not an important aspect of your life right now. Maybe this is not your season. But if it is your season and you have the energy and capacity for it, I would encourage you to declutter just a small space or just whatever is nagging you the most. Like you mentioned immediately your homeschool closet.
Mm.
So that makes me think maybe that is a pain point for you and it's frustrating you on the daily basis. And so if you took 15 minutes a day to kind of clear out or just reorganize, perhaps that could be helpful to you.
Yes, I love
Um,
that. We do break it down. In a previous podcasts, we've talked about micro fasting or micro,
yes.
exercising in small bursts, throughout your
Yeah.
day, because it is so much easier when you break it down into smaller pieces. So I love that that was your recommendation because that seems doable. 15 minutes a day
Yeah,
seems.
like just one drawer or one shelf, or it doesn't have to be a whole room. It does not need to be the whole basement.
Mm, okay. Because you were there for that moment when you decide to do the
I'm,
whole bit.
I'm happy to help.
Okay. Love that. Okay, so that's our homework, everybody. We are going to this next week, we're going to organize something. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Tag me in photos.
That's for me
Tag
more
me in
than everybody
photos.
else. Yes. 15 minutes. We're going to do that drawer or that homeschool closet.
You know the
And
thing.
please do. Yes, please do let us know in the comments what you organized this week. I want to hear how it goes and whether that 15-minute burst was helpful for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kelly, thank you so much for joining me today. Please share where everyone can stay in touch with you and where we can all learn more about how we can maintain a clutterless home.
Yes. So we've already mentioned my website, clutter-less.com. Um, and my socials, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and that is at clutterLESS Kelly. So Kelly. That's my handle on both of those.
Okay, wonderful. And as always, you all can stay connected with me, Verity Lucia, on Instagram and Facebook under author.verity.lucia and through my newsletter found on www.verityluciabooks.com. And for all you moms of teen girls out there, the Hidden Don't Fear the Unseen Mother-Daughter Book Study is available now on Amazon. Have the hard conversations with your teen, please, before she leaves your home. Don't wait for the right moment. Create it with the Hidden Book Study. Okay, thanks again for joining us, friends. And thank you again, Kelly.
Thank you.